Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Julie and today we are going to be talking about what to look for when hiring your contractor. So you're ready for a remodel and don't know the first thing about hiring the right professional for the job. Interior design and renovations is all about the proper planning, sourcing the right materials, and hiring the right people for the job. Sometimes you need a knowledgeable contractor to oversee the entire project. Whether it's a whole house remodel or you're simply renovating a guest bathroom, here are the top 10 issues that you need to look out for when hiring a contractor for the job. What exactly does a general contractor do? A general contractor is responsible for providing all of the material, labor, services, and equipment for a job. The general contractor then hires all the specialized independent contractors for portions of the work to be performed. The independent contractor in this case could refer to the plumber, the electrician, the landscaper, your flooring installer, the tile installation, the carpenter, or any other specialized tasks needed to complete the renovation of the home. Here are my top 10 tips for working with a contractor for your renovation. Number 1, always ask for personal recommendations. Online referrals are not always the most reliable source, especially when you're blindly looking for service professionals and just look for the highest rated ones near you. Ask your family, your friends, and even neighbors that you know who are undergoing renovations for their referrals. Chances are you'll find greater success with a contractor when you've seen the work, you know that they're reliable, or they've done an amazing job renovating for someone that you already know. So my number 1 tip is to always ask for personal referrals. Number 2 is to know your contractor's credentials. Are they licensed, bonded, and insured? You want to run a license check. Go online and make sure that the contractor has a physical address that you can look up. The Contractor's State License Board protects California consumers by licensing and regulating the state's construction industry. Every state has their own regulations, so check online for your state or country's license boards. Abbreviations behind your contractor's name can represent certifications from national trade organizations. This can indicate that the company belongs to certain organizations that bind them to a strict code of ethics. These abbreviations can include CGR, CAPS, BIA, NAHB. Have I ever used an unlicensed contractor before? Sure, I think everybody has. Earlier in my career, I would allow the clients to choose whichever contractor they wanted to work with. I didn't check whether or not the contractor was licensed, bonded, or insured, since I was clearly another hired professional for the job. Since you are the client, it is up to you to hire a licensed professional for the job, or else anything that arises and happens is all on you. Number 3, make sure you connect with your contractor, you vibe well, you get along. The contractor is easy to talk to, they explain things in detail, and of course answers all of your questions in a warm and professional manner. Like your designer, you want to make sure that your contractor understands your vision and your needs for the space. The contractor also needs to be experienced in the type of job that you're looking for. If you're looking to laser cut a really detailed edge on a countertop and the contractor doesn't have that type of machine, it's time to look for another contractor that's better suited for the job that you're looking for. I find that the worst outcomes come with unrealistic expectations. Communication is key for every single project down to the smallest detail. You want to insist on regular communication and contact either by phone, by email, or text message. Follow a schedule that you both set up and agree to make sure that there are no delays. You don't want to be micromanaging the project, really that's what a general contractor is for, but at least when you have a schedule, both of you are aligned with your vision and the outcomes for success. Furthermore, you want to make sure that you meet weekly with the project manager to ensure all of the details of the design. You can check on the progress with the project manager week by week, and this will help curb any surprises that might come your way. All in all, staying in communication keeps everyone on track. Number 4, you get what you pay for. Understand that price reflects quality. The lowest bid might suggest that they're using cheap materials or they're not keen on their craftsmanship and they do shoddy work. Sometimes the lowest bid just means they're really desperate to win the project. If you go with the cheapest bid, be prepared to pay more down the line for mistakes that have been made. Clearly, you won't know what the lowest bid is until you get multiple bids and estimates, but the winner is usually somewhere right in the middle. Make sure that you request a line item description of all the materials necessary for the job. If you're on a budget, make sure you can work with the contractor to figure out where you can skimp on some projects and splurge on others. For budget remodels and renovations, I always advise my clients to skimp on the materials but splurge on the installation. A good contractor can make cheap materials look like $1,000,000 with skilled installation techniques. You know what they say, if you think hiring a professional is expensive, try hiring an amateur. Number 5 is get everything in writing. Your home improvement contract should include detailed timeframes, line itemizations for specialty materials, the total costs, payment arrangements, your contractor's license number, the project description, names, and contact information of parties involved, and how to handle additional costs if necessary. Be cautious. If you are not given a specific timeline for the project, it might mean that the contractor is working on several jobs at the same time. This might also mean that your project would not be completed in a timely manner, so make sure that you have a schedule and you both agree to it. I like to keep everything in one place. It could be an email folder where I save all incoming and outgoing emails. It could simply be a physical folder where I save all pertinent information. Keep track of all project-related documents like the contracts, the invoices, the payments, the receipts, and all of the contact information so you have it ready at your fingertips. Remember that payments should always be made in increments. Never pay everything up front or even 50% up front. A typical retainer fee for a home improvement project shouldn't exceed about 15 to 20% of the overall project cost. Number 6 is to be realistic with your home improvement budget. Break the project down in multiple phases and see what you can do as a priority. If you're on a budget, you might want to spread out the cost over time. As a homeowner, you can save money on so many tasks that you could do yourself, like cleaning or even painting. Number 7 is to be prepared for delays. When undergoing a home remodel or a renovation, I always tell my clients the same thing. Expect that the project will take double the amount of time and triple the original budget intended. I know it sounds really crazy, but I cannot tell you how many times my estimation is more accurate than what they intended in the first place. I have so much experience with construction and renovations, I find that my estimation is more accurate compared to homeowners who have never done this before. Educate yourself about the home renovation requirements. Know what permits are required and what regulations need to be followed for your remodeling project. Your contractor or architect should be responsible for applying for and acquiring all necessary permits. Make sure you know what's going on behind the scenes because sometimes permits take a long time. You need to be able to communicate with your architect or your contractor so you know when they've submitted plans and how long you can expect for the approvals. Also keep in mind that the cost of the job can increase once a contractor is surprised by what's hidden behind the walls. This could be outdated wiring, corroded plumbing pipes, essentially what you can't anticipate until the walls are opened up and inspected. Typically, anything cosmetic does not require a permit. Once you break down any structural walls, you're moving any gas lines, plumbing lines, water lines, then those tasks always require a permit and should be handled accordingly. Number 8 is to always be prepared for a home renovation. Before a job begins, make sure your home and your family is prepared. That includes having a place where the workers can store all of their tools, supplies, and materials, and it's sealed right off at the entry point. You want to make sure that you do all of the prep work before you hire your contractor. This means that you need to select all your paint colors, your finishes, and all of the main materials for the job before the project starts. You want to review all your samples and your finishes to make sure that you're happy with them. If you've ever been on a construction site, especially if you're still living in the home, it is complete mayhem. There's constantly people coming in and out of your home, so make sure that you remove all valuables so there's no potential for loss. If there are items in your home that's easily damaged, you want to make sure you cover that up or remove it from the property entirely. If there's an opportunity for you and your family to move off-site during the renovation project, I highly advise it. The air quality is not the greatest, there's always dust and debris flying around, and I find that it's really stressful to live in a construction site. If you have a project that might last longer than 2 or 3 weeks, I would always suggest finding another place to stay in the interim. Make sure that you have a go-to person that you're constantly in contact with, whether or not it's the project manager or it's the general contractor himself. Pick someone to be a key contact person between the contractor and the family. This will help to keep communication open, clean, and clear at all times. Number 9 is to wait to start demolition. You want to begin the first day of demo once all of the supplies, materials, and equipment is ready. This includes windows, doors, appliances, finished materials. You need to make sure that you've paid for all of the materials and supplies and they're ready to be picked up on the day that project starts. And finally, number 10, you want to ensure that things are complete before you sign off on a renovation. The weekly walkthrough with your project manager ensures that the project meets your expectations as the weeks go by. Nothing is crooked, scratched, is not aligned, there's no chipped materials, the plaster or the paint is smooth, there's no dirt, debris, missed spots of caulking. I mean, here is your chance to be super detailed on the project and catch these issues before it's too late. Schedule the final walkthrough with your contractor and review the punch list. A punch list is the document prepared near the end of construction listing work that doesn't conform to your contract specifications. Basically, these are the things that the general contractor must complete prior to final payment. Meet with your contractor and make note of any tasks that need to be completed before closeout. Be sure to request a final release or lien waiver. Once the final payment is made, this clears you from any liability for third-party claims. So when do you actually hire a contractor? I have found in my experience that a lot of people hire a general contractor when they really don't need to, and vice versa. The ones who don't end up hiring a contractor are the ones who generally should. So when should you hire a contractor? When the job is going to take 2 or more weeks to complete, or when the job requires several different professionals to complete the project. That is when you should hire a general contractor. If you want to save money by hiring specific skilled professionals or independent subcontractors, you can do this when you have the following checked off. Number 1, you have a detailed design in hand. You could be working with your interior designer to design the space out, or it could be a design that you've implemented yourself. You want to make sure that you have all the details laid out so you know exactly what to expect when it comes to installation. Number 2, when you can oversee the project yourself. You might have all of the time in the world to oversee a project if you're working from home, but if you don't have that time and you spend most of your days in the office, you'll need to appoint someone to oversee the project. Number 3, you are confident in how to manage the project. You may not know how everything works, but you can oversee it to the point where you can communicate with your subcontractor and get your point across. When to hire an independent contractor versus doing it yourself. DIY work can include painting, simple cosmetic changes, carpentry, millwork, or electrical swaps. If you already have the electrical outlet in place and you're simply swapping out fixtures, that is something that you can do yourself. If you're simply replacing an old faucet with a new one, you can DIY that as well. Look to hire a professional for more skilled improvements. This could be demoing old tile and replacing it with new ones. It could be new electrical, new HVAC, new plumbing, new water lines, new gas lines. You have to be realistic with your own capabilities. Anything that's behind walls or underneath flooring, I usually hire a professional to do. Although your home improvement project might take a lot of work and be disruptive to your life, the end result is totally worth it. Interior design is so worth every penny, time, effort, energy that you expend on it. Once the rooms are complete and your house becomes a home that you've always deserved, I can't even tell you what that feels like. So always take the extra care and consideration and do all the pre-planning and prep work before you embark on a home remodel or renovation. Of course, that absolutely includes who you hire for the job. Make sure you vibe well with the contractor because they will be putting all of their creative energy into your home as well. The best contractors care as much about their work as they do their client to make sure the outcome is fantastic. Remember that home improvement and remodeling could be a really fun project for you and your family. You should always choose the contractor or service professional that you're most comfortable working with because you'll be working so closely with them until the job is complete. The key qualities that I tend to look for in a great contractor is experience, reputation, flexibility, the ability to listen closely to my needs, and of course, a little integrity never hurts. As an interior designer, I pride myself on the fact that I am an expert at problem solving. I love to troubleshoot design ideas and collaborate with a contractor to make that happen. After all, my expertise is in design, not necessarily construction, so I want to look for the contractor who can come up with suggestions on the fly. Interior design is my art, and construction and installation is the contractor's art. I've had so many bad experiences in my 16 years of working in the industry. Shady contractors, shoddy work, horrible communication, or at worst, like no communication at all. They might not show up on the day scheduled, they show up at the wrong times. I mean, you name it, I've experienced it. But on the flip side, I have also had amazing experiences with general contractors and independent contractors. So a word of advice, when you find someone you love, pay the premium and never let them go. Thank you so much to the viewers for suggesting this video. I've been reading your comments and a lot of it has to do with how to work with contractors. So if you like this type of content, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment below and let me know if you have any questions when it comes to hiring the right contractor for your job. Also, I want to hear your stories. The good, the bad, the ugly. I know there are a ton of dream contractor scenarios and nightmares out there, so give it to me. A lot of viewers read the comment section, so I know that your story can help someone down the line. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and hit that little notification bell to be notified of new videos that we drop every Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.